Welcome to day 5 of this email series. And today I am going to give you the next big step in planning your website. But you've already done all of the hard work, okay? Now, this step, I do need to caution you, please do not overthink it. We are going to work on the headings that's needing to go onto each of those pages that you have planned, and the call to action that's going to go on each of those pages. Now, what I mean with that is that each of those most important pages, so that those who are going to be listed in the top menu items on your website, as well as in your footer, those who are going to be the driving factor behind your website. So they like your main brochure kind of pages that is going to give your customer the most information about what you're doing and what you're all about. So it's not necessarily that you need to plan out a huge, big headline for each of those pages, but the one that is basically going to drive the traffic. Okay, now here's the caution, because as soon as we hear H1 tags, meaning that's the main heading on a page, we also start thinking about SEO. And what I have found working with myself and numerous clients over the years is when you start thinking SEO, it just stops that creativity. So what I want you to do is not think about SEO right now. It is important, but it's more important that your customer finds what they are looking for and that the message speaks directly to them. And you'll be surprised that you have intuitively actually written down the exact keywords and things that the search engine is going to need to find your content by just doing this, just thinking like a human, thinking like a person, like your ideal customer, like the person who you want to serve. And the amazing thing is you'll notice that the SEO is just going to fall into place. You might have to just swap out here and there a little bit of a keyword or restructure the sentence a little bit, make it a little bit more impactful, but the key elements is going to be there. So don't think about SEO, all right? Think about what your customer wants to see. So the first heading on your website, when they come to your homepage, what is that first thing they need to see? And it's usually going to give them more information about who you are and what you do. Okay, and they need to know that this is my place. They need to call out to them and say, hey, welcome here. This is for you. All right. And each page only have one H1 tag on it. Okay. So that's a rule. So one main big heading that we call the H1. Then you can plan your H2 and H3 headings that goes on each page as well. Now, all this does is it just gives you a bit of a wireframe idea of what kind of pieces of content is now going to be built on each of those pages. So we're going to have a main heading, and then we need to break those down into sections, and those sections will each probably have their own heading. So if you're a home page, for instance, for dog grooming, then in the main heading will be something about pooches and shampoos or something like that, something cute or something that says that we are creating a very personal, loving experience for your dog washing or bathing them. I'm not a copywriter, so I need lots of help to kind of figure out what the heading needs to be, but it needs to call them out, okay? Then the other subheadings that's going to be on that homepage is probably going to be coming to your home with our mobile van. You can come to our parlor, and then what that is, and some tips and tricks about how to maintain grooming at home. So that could just be like things that are on our homepage that people might be able to find, So think through what is it that they're going to want to, you want to structure on each page. Now your about page will have slightly different things, but it also needs a main heading. And then it needs to also have the subheadings. So, hey, this is who I am. This is what we do. This is for you if you want all of these kind of things. And if you hear let's guide you to the next step. And that's going to be the call to action, like book a service, book a call with me, come and visit our shop, all that kind of thing. Okay. So this is only for those main pages. So you don't have to go and think completely about every single content piece. Now you need to have an H1 heading and all of the other headings on them. If you want to be like an overachiever, you can go ahead and do that. You know, there are some people that's just amazing. And I love those clients because they are just so organized, but that's not the idea. Okay. So your main pages, like your home, about, contact us, your service page, if you are going to have a membership page or any kind of those main pieces of places that you're going to want to send your customer to, those are the ones that we are going to now plan out with a heading, and then any subheadings that needs to go onto that page. In other words, the other pieces of content that you need to list there, is it the different services that you offer, or the different tips and tricks, or whatever that might be entail. And then what is the next step that you want them to take when they landed on that specific page? So one call to action, okay? So when I know home page, find out more about us. It's probably going to be your main call to action on your homepage. Then it goes to the About Us page. And then on About Us page is like, hey, book a discovery call, you know? So that's going to be the main call to action for that page. All right, I hope that makes sense. And I'll meet you here tomorrow. And tomorrow, we are going to actually plan out the layout of each of these pages. So we're going to create what we call a wireframe. And so that's why it's key that you have all of these little headings in place, so that you now know what kind of sections and things you want to have on each of these pages. So we're going to lay that out tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be fun, but it's not going to be easy to do if you haven't done this step. But again, please do not overthink it. You can always refine as we go along, okay? This is, but it's easier to start with a basic plan than none at all, okay? So go ahead and just start creating those headings and then call to actions, and I'll see you tomorrow.